What article you told me to look for?
Uh, uh, job. I mean, revised numbers, non-foreign payroll.
Reform number. What? What did say? Reform number.
Revised numbers,
Or revised
non-farm
number.
payroll.
Revised number. Non-form payroll.
Non-farm.
Right here. Form. Like FARM.
Yes, non-farm.
This one right here.
Yeah, you can click that one.
Or you want to go to the deal?
No, go to we can go to both. BLS ain't gonna tell the truth.
Well, let's take it to the street. Okay. There you go.
Okay, read that.
No, you read it.
Oh God. Okay. First, do you know what this means, Mo?
Uh-uh. This is everybody who their payroll that's not a form.
That was slick. I like that.
Yeah. No green, no collard greens for you.
That's okay. I'm not eating it right now anyway.
All right. So basically, what this is that as we know, the BLS been cooking the numbers. So all of this, labor market is strong, creating millions of jobs. It's all been a lie because of this right here. So all of those prints that came out, when the data came out and, it was 200,000, 300,000 jobs, it was really nothing. So that means that the job market is actually weak right now, or it's been weak for a long time, over a year at least. So they're going to do the whole thing, I think, by February 2025. They're going to cover the
Was
whole thing.
what by saying is weak already? Oh, it's weakening.
Well, the whole report is going to come out because they really just been cooking the numbers. Hold on, man. I'm supposed to be ended this class already. 1 second.
Well, peace, power, and profit. Everybody tell Chris to get back. What you think, Brandon?
I mean, you can always tell if somebody's lying or if the overall market is not what it's supposed to be. Like you can definitely tell by the recipe. Certain sectors you can tell. I mean, just for me, it's just looking at the charts and then going out to the stores and just watching. Oh, and then like some of the news feeds, like they've been laying off people left and right. Yet his pound still talking about we have a strong economy. Like if Google's laying off 30% of their workers, like that's not a strong economy. Google's the number one, or damn near the number one, you know, uh, business on the market that's thriving. And they're laying off 15 to 30% of their workers. There's something wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and it's just not Google. Like it's other big name companies that just make people off Meta, Netflix. I mean, the list is there. I mean, Intel, Rivian, Disney. All these people are just laying off people like left and right. Nobody's really getting raises like it's supposed to. People are moving around to other jobs, trying to fill voids and starting back over with their entry pay. I mean, it's not really conducive. Honestly, right now, if you're in a job right now that, um, if you're trying to see other employment right now, I don't think you should. I think you should stay where you're at, collect, save, and when the economy picks back up, that's when you should, find another job. I don't think it's uh, conducive right now to find another job because all these massive layoffs, you don't know if you're going to be next. I mean, you could be in a company with all the seniority and then decide to move, and then that company that you move to decides to start laying people off. You be the first one on the chopping block, no matter what type of skill you have. So I mean,
Right.
the writing's been on the wall for a little bit. I mean, it starts off with the actual real estate market. I mean, that's the honestly my business. In my eyes, it's the only true business that America has, the real estate market. So when that happens, if the real estate market in the United States is not strong, well, then something going on.
Right. Yes, I hear you. I guess it's not so nice.
When you see,
That's
when you
right.
see, when you see armed forces hiring or advertising, that's another signal for me. Or it's like, why would they be advertising?
Mm. Mm.
What about you? What do you
I don't
think?
think anything. I don't think anything.
Why not? You got to. You got little chillings in the house that got jobs, don't they?
Because because even if there was jobs, you still got to catch up to what the rates and what things cost. It always be unbalanced to me, regardless. It'll just always be unbalanced. It's almost like if you're non-government, your cost of living would never catch up to inflation because
Yeah.
you have to deal with. So when I was working for the government, it used to be like a bit mandatory 3% raise to try to keep up with inflation, right?
Mm.
And then when I think it was like what 07, 09 or whatever, that rate changed and then it was like no raise. And then when they put it back in place, it was like 1.5% raise. And then it became to the discretion of your employer, right?
Right.
Well, the feds kept their percentages of raise, the federal employees, no matter what. They did their little stop loss or they little leave without pay, but then that's it. They still went back to their automatic 3% or 5%, whatever it is, raise. Whereas in the private sector, there is no mandate. There is no, they give you a raise if they wanna.
Right.
It seems like if they don't have anything to do with government, there's no mandate. There's no control. There's no fiscal control. So you're at the mercy of your employer, which could be a no-win situation.
Right.
So I usually don't get upset either way, but either side, because they neither one gonna change the private sector from doing the right thing, or they don't mandate them to stay in the same uh, bracket as the government, which I always thought was unfair. So even if there were jobs, you're still underpaid.
Right.
And because they don't have no mandate that those companies stay within the national average, they put it out there that that's what you're supposed to do. But the only people they mandate to do so is a contract, a government contractor that is. Anybody dealing in the private sector is not mandated because if they're mandated, but the dollar amount is almost double less. When your minimum wage is still 7.25, but the federal is almost 16 or a little over
Hmm.
16, then that's a clear problem within itself.
Right.
So you'll never catch up in the private side. You'll never catch up. You're at the mercy of the owners. Some people
Right.
do right and they pay their people fair share based on their profits. And some people are like, well, the federal don't require me to, so I'm not. And the some people in that category is more than not. They're least likely than not to, you know,
Right.
do what we would say moral. For them, they don't have a moral when it comes to their dollars. Is if I'm not mandated to do it, I'm not doing it. If there's no rule that say it has to be done that way, then I'm not doing it. And that's
Well,
practically almost anybody.
Yeah.
because it's business at the end of the day.
Hey, it's business. And even if you tell yourself that, you know what, I ain't gonna be that kind of person. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be fair. And then when you start racking in them dollars, guess what? You do the same thing.
Hmm.
Because you start saying things like, I don't want to pay no payroll tax.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Why should I give them that? You're only working this much, considering the workload. We go back to the same practices that they have in place. We do more with less. We pay less, or we don't promote, or we don't provide raises. And I'm talking about the individuals who have the means to, not the people who ain't making no money. I ain't talking about. We know we ain't talking
Yeah.
about. You got family practices owned by, you know, our people, or dentists or lawyer offices or any independent owned professional services, and you walk in and their administrative clerk or that clerk that sits reception that sit at the desk is probably making minimum wage or a little above it, and their books are probably in the black. you know
Right.
they probably profiting a good penny because of how they charge as far as their profession is concerned. you know but like I said, unless there's some type of oversight, that's not going to change. It's always going to be a variance that's to the downside. And so that's why I'm like, I mean, unless they plan on making a plane even kill feel like paying people according to the way the federal folk get paid, then we're not gonna catch up to inflation. That's for sure. And the only people that make the noise about it are those who were doing a little bit better than most. Because those that are not doing well, shit, they know they ain't doing well. They ain't even trying. They ain't even gonna try to change it because they know they're not gonna catch up. Because one, they either don't have the skill set. Two, they don't have the fortitude to get a new skill set. And three, they're so complacent and used to the environment, they don't want to move out of the area. Matter of fact, I met somebody yesterday or day before yesterday, and she said she'd never been out of the area. She's 45, in a rural
Really.
area, never left the area, never lived anywhere else. I can't even imagine.
Oh, you can imagine.
No, I can't.
Well, no.
This says, let me see if I can read it real quick before I finish my email. Non-farm payroll revised, as Chris ain't reading it, down by 818,000. Labor Department says, key points. As part of its preliminary annual benchmark revisions to the non-farm payroll numbers, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says the actual job growth was nearly 30% less than the initial reported. The revision to the total payrolls level of negative 0.5 is the largest since 2009. At the sector level, the biggest downward revision came in professional and business services, where job growth was 358,000 less than initially reported. The U.S. economy created 818,000 fewer jobs than originally reported in the 12-month period through March 24, the Labor Department reported Wednesday. As part of its preliminary annual benchmark revisions to the non-farm payroll numbers, the Bureau of Labor Statistics said the actual job growth was nearly 30% less than the initially reported 2.9 million from April 2023 through March of this year. The revision to the total payrolls levels of negative 0.5% is the largest since 2009. The numbers are routinely revised each month, but the BLS does a broader revision each year when it gets the results of the quarterly census of employment and wages. Wall Street has been waiting for the revisions numbers, with many economists expecting a sizable reduction in the originally reported figures. The new numbers, if they held up when the BLS issues its final revisions in February, implied monthly job gains of 174,000 during the period, as opposed to the initial indication of 242,000. Even with the revision, job creation during the period stood at more than 2 million, but the report could be seen as an indication that the labor market is not as strong as the previous BLS reporting had made it out to be. That in return could provide further impetus for the Federal Reserve to start lowering interest rates. The labor market appears weaker than originally reported, said Jeffrey Roach, chief economist at LPL Financial. A deteriorating labor market will allow the Fed to highlight both sides of the dual mandate, and investors should expect the Fed to prepare markets for a cut at the September meeting. At the sector level, the biggest downward revision came in professional and business services, where job growth was 358,000 less. Other areas revised lower included leisure and hospitality, negative 150,000, manufacturers, negative 150,000, and trade, transportation and utilities, negative 104,000. Within the trade category, retail numbers were cut by 129,000. A few sectors saw upward revisions, including private education and health services, 87,000, transportation and warehouse, 56,400, and other services, 21,000. Government jobs were little changed after the revisions, packing up just 1,000. Non-farm payroll jobs totaled 158.7 million through July, an increase of 1.6% from the same month in 2023. There have been concerns through that the labor market is starting to weaken, with the rise in the unemployment rate to 4.3% representing a 0.8% point gain from the 12-month low and triggering a historically accurate measure known as the SAMA rule, SALB rule, that indicates an economy in recession. However, much of the gain in the unemployment rate has been attributed to an increase in people returning to the workforce rather than a pronounced surge in layoffs. This preliminary estimate doesn't change the fact that the jobs recovery has been and remains historically strong, delivering solid jobs and wages gains, strong consumer spending, and record small business creation, White House economist Jared Bernstein said in his statement. To be sure, economists at Goldman Sachs said later Wednesday that they think the BLS may have overstated the revisions by as much as 500,000. The firm said undocumented immigrants who now are not in the unemployment system but were listed initially as employed amounted for some of the discrepancy, along with a general tendency for the initial revision to be overstated. Federal Reserve officials, nonetheless, are watching the job situation closely and are expected to approve their first interest rate cut in 4 years when they next meet in September. Chair Jerome Powell will deliver much anticipated policy speech Friday at the Fed annual retreat in Jacksonville Hole, Wyoming, that could lay the groundwork for easier monetary policy ahead. There you go.
What y'all take from that?
They're trying to cover their ass.
Now, I just want y'all to notice. Now, they've always done this, but all of a sudden, now they want to come out and talk about a revision, and that the numbers were basically overstated, and the job market was actually weaker than what they were stating. Now, they will only do this when something is about to happen. I'm gonna let y'all guess on what's about to happen.
Man, I don't know, probably what, a recession?
Yeah, you know, brother. Say it with your chest.
But to hit them off with a recession piece, 2 piece and a biscuit.
Yeah. Job losses, rich people shopping at Walmart for groceries. Come on, man. Come on. That ain't no damn coincidence. Come on. That ain't no coincidence, man. Now, well, hey, yeah, about to get tight. But see, people think it's a game, man. Really think it's a game. They got the bread and circus over here with the Democrats and Republicans. Democrats want to, give you bread and circus, doing all these rallies, having rappers and shit at the rallies, trying to hype niggas up and get them all excited, keep them distracted from the real stuff going on at hand. The propaganda, man, that's why I keep, harping on propaganda is fucking dangerous, bro. It always have been, but now it's like a million times worse. because now it's not just you know, black people are bad. You know, stay away from them. You know, don't let them around you and all that type of shit. Or, you know, military propaganda. You know, fight for your country. You know, be a man and all of this other crap, right? Now it's everything, bro. It's everything. From gender to relationships to beliefs, religion, um, economics. Everything is goddamn propaganda. Everything. Even this shit right here, the shit we just got through looking at and reading. Non-farm payroll growth revised down by 818,000. Why come out now and say this shit?
That's how they like to do it, catch people off guard. We did at the last minute, hoping they won't catch it.
Yeah. So now you spread it out. Oh, you know, we're gonna revise it down because you know the numbers really wasn't that. You know, we was hyping it up a little bit. You know, we added a little here, a little there. So all of this whole new job shit, which we already knew was bullshit from the beginning. We knew it was the same job that, you know, was just, you know, getting back on his feet from COVID.
Right.
It wasn't all of these new jobs, man. Hell, you had so many businesses closing down because of the pandemic. So, you know, all of a sudden, you know, these new jobs is coming out of nowhere. How? How does that work?
Hey Mo, can you read the time, the date of this article?
Uh, August 21st. It's at 10:37 a.m.
In the morning, AM.
And then update it.
It's updated at 3:37 p.m.
Now, what I really want you to do, I really want you to read that CNN article. So kindly hit that back button for me.
You gonna read that?
Okay, have
'Cause
it your way.
My eyes is dry.
Oh, your eyes dry now. Okay, clear eye.
Nigga, it's 10 o'clock, 10:05, and I got kids. You know what that means? Early
What's that?
morning.
Oh yeah. Look, now look at the headline.
It
Hold
says,
on.
new data shows U.S. job growth has been far weaker.
Hold
And
on.
go ahead and do your thing. I'm about to move by myself. Ooh, I'm thirsty.
Okay. Now look at this headline. New data shows U.S. job growth has been far weaker than initially reported. Propaganda. Watch CNBC article, then say it like this. Okay, scroll down. Let's read this. Oh, you want a nightcap, huh? All right. It says U.S. job growth during much of the past year was significantly weaker.
Hold up. What's stupid? Pop up. Go ahead.
U.S. job growth during much of the past year was significantly weaker than initially estimated, according to new data released Wednesday. The Bureau of Labor Statistics preliminary annual benchmark review of employment data suggests that there were 818,000 fewer jobs in March of this year than were initially reported. It was more than just March. Every year, the BLS conducts a revision to the data from its monthly survey of businesses' payrolls, then benchmarks the March employment level to those measured by the quarterly Census of Employment and Wages program. The preliminary data marks the largest downward revision since 2009. What is the fucking common denominator? Why is it 2009? What happened in 2009? Goddamn recession.
Mhm. No slick.
Why?
That was
Come
slick.
on, man. Come on.
That was real slick.
Come on. We don't even got to read nothing else. That right there just daggered everything. These niggas playing games, man.
That was real slick.
It shows that the labor market wasn't quite as red hot as initially thought. However, job growth was still historically strong. How? You cook the numbers. It wasn't just March. You cook the numbers every month. So March is the benchmark. No, come on, man. When spread through the prior year, the average monthly job gain from April 2023 through March 2024 was 173,500 versus nearly 242,000. An analysis of BLS data shows. It is important for markets to remember that these are not job losses. It is just that the job count was never that high. Man, come on, man. Wrote Chris Rupke, chief economist at FWD Bonds in a note Wednesday. The economy apparently did not need those phantom lost workers because robust real consumer expenditures powered very strong economic growth in the second half of last year. And job growth this year. Do you know that they added immigrants to the job numbers? Did y'all know that?
That's messed up. No, I did not know that.
One of these articles got to say, I think I remember reading it from Zero Hedge, but we know that the downward adjustments were limited to the private sector, with nearly half in the professional and business services industry, revised down by 358,000 or 1.6%. Other sectors showing large negative swings included the information industry down 68,000 or 2.3%, leisure and hospitality down 150,000 or 0.9%, and manufacturing down 115,000 or negative 0.9%. They scroll down. The estimates released by the Labor Department on Wednesday after an uncharacteristic delay of more than half an hour. Uncharacteristic, are preliminary and will not be finalized until February 2025. So it's preliminary. It could be more. It could be more than 818,000. But we got to wait until February. Okay? While Wednesday's revision won't change the existing monthly employment data for now, it serves as another critical gauge for the overall health and activity of the U.S. labor market. Job growth has dropped off more than expected in recent months, making for an even more tenuous situation for the Federal Reserve and its weighing of interest rate cuts. So, is it the fact that the job market is revealing itself of the truth by the unemployment rate going up? Or is it both?
or they share what they want when they want to. No win situation.
All right.
You're still
So
in class.
no, that wasn't me.
Oh, that Brandon.
So man, we ain't even gotta read no more. You know, it's just man, I'm just tired of talking to people. I'm tired, man. I'm just say y'all are fucked. That's it. Don't call, don't text, don't messenger. I don't want to hear it. You're fucked. Oh man, you was right about come. Oh well, no, I wasn't right. You was wrong.
Oh well, I'm still voting for.
Hmm?
He say, hmm.
You still voting for her?
Yeah,
It ain't no
I'm
surprise.
sure not voting for Trump. Trump, you heard what Trump say about veterans? Man, I would be crazy out of my mind to vote for Trump. And he don't even like vets. In particular, he don't like veterans who've been injured in combat. You know darn well I'm not voting for Trump. And he just said a sly comment about a Medal of Honor.
Mm,
Oh, listen, don't get me started. Can't turn them tables for me. I don't care how much what they talking about. That just hurts us to the core. He even
mm,
got the white folks jumping ship on that one. How you gonna be our commander in chief, the overall person over the military, and you talk about us like we? Oh, let me stop before somebody hear me.
mm.
Be like shit, command over chapters. He talking about that. Oh God, I can't do it. Sorry, I can't.
Well, despite all of that, Kamala Harris will not be voted president. If you don't know this, and I'm just sorry. Well, no, I ain't sorry. Truth is, she ain't gonna be the president. That's just a fact.
Well, I still ain't voting for him.
I ain't either. I ain't voting for either. So they can both go to hell.
I gotta vote now. I gotta vote now. I gotta
Sweet and
vote.
simple.
Why
Um,
y'all don't vote? I don't understand. If they fight so hard for you not to vote,
who who
don't
fights so hard for us not to vote?
they fight for real hard for us not to vote? They change your voting locations. They switch up the rules. I don't know what they doing in Texas, but boy, they be doing a number over here. Don't register to vote every year. Don't fill out that card every year and see if you vote any election. I don't care which one it is, local, federal, whatever. They do all that over here. All that. So I just made it a habit. Shit, every year I just go fill out a new card, fill out a new card, because you already know it's gonna be some shenanigans. If you didn't, you get to the polls
I gotta be
every
like
time.
I gotta be like Craig and Friday. Now, why would I vote for somebody that don't have my interest? We gonna start right there.
Well, not your interest, because everybody's interest is different, and I always have to remember that.
Okay,
But
I've been,
I'm always
I've
dealing with
been, been
interest.
I've been benefiting. I've been benefiting both ways. Now, when y'all start talking about collectives and things like that, I understand your point, you know. But in the same, I give you a case of point. This is what drives me about the uses. I always try and help somebody with some compliance, some nonprofit compliance, because they're due for some federal funds. Well, when they put their deal together, oh my God, the stuff is just all out of whack. They don't have what they need. So I had to get on the phone, with the funders and was like, had to be super nice, which I don't like doing. And I was just like, hey, how you doing? You having a good day? Trying to do, trying to soften them up. Like,
Oh,
listen, here's what I'm doing for them. Here's what we got going on. Here's what I'm gonna send you, da 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 da. There's like, I have faith that you're gonna make, I really want to make sure, but if not, we're gonna have to find somebody else to govern their funds. And I'm like, nah, we don't need that. Okay. But hey, listen, I looked up their business and I don't see it under this person's name. I don't see it under that person's name. I don't see it under the email addresses. I don't see it under the organization's name. Can you help me out here? And I was like, you know what? I'm volunteering at the baseball game, but when I finish volunteering with the vets, I'm gonna get back with you. I'm really trying to cut the check. You can get it within 2 to 3 days, but I said, oh, I'm so sorry. They're calling my name. I'm gonna have to. Can I please get back with you after the baseball game? You know what drives me about the us is everybody say, hey, what they want, what they need, what we not getting, but we don't have our stuff together to get. So out of all the things that are at our exposure that we can have access to as a start to build that conversation on how and why we can handle our own affairs, somebody always in position to get and are prepared. That's an issue. That is a dilemma amongst those who are in position and have the funding at arm's reach and weren't structured properly. So we have all these intelligent folks in our corner and we can't put a structured plan together. That within, let's start there before and I tell a group of individuals at this back to school event, and I was like, it's no problem for you to get something to start somewhere, to build upon, to be better. But when we start to talk to you about how you should be structured, what you should be put together, we have become so individualized that we act like we cannot operate within a team. And that right there, we have to fix that before we be over here talking about what they're giving us. How are they gonna give us anything if we can't even put a structure together? That's a huge dilemma because people, I want to own mine, you want to own yours, Brandon want to own his, and if they say, hey, all three of y'all gotta do it together, is who? Not me. I'm not partnering with nobody. I'm the only person that can run my that. When in actuality, we take that word so out of context. All it is Chris has an area, Brandon has an area, Monica has an area, but collectively we come together and we report out our areas as one as a joint venture entity versus I'm over you, you over me, he over thee. And for some odd reason, as a community, we can't narrow that down. I'm about to get my first um my first opportunity to upstand a community. And when I tell you out the gate, only because I've had conversations on this YouTube, I understand how to move within the initial start of it because of personalities, which is always around religion, groupthink, isolation, individualism, uh, territorial, tribalism. I'm talking all of that. And I'm like, this place too small to say we can't. This if a place this small should be able to upstand with no problems. We got 1 million organizations, and you're telling me that the best scenario I seen of bringing different organizations together to upstand a particular policy direction was the winter shelter. I don't know if y'all remember me driving the winter shelter with the homeless back in 2016 or 17, 18, 19. And United Way, instead of them performing the duty, they brought together all these businesses came together to perform this mission. So we were covering the transportation. You had a business covering security, one covering food, one covering the logistics side of it, one covering the registrations, administrative, one covering volunteers, you name it, whatever that building needed. This one little building that held, I think it could hold 200 people. That one little facility, this one grant brought, I think it was 12 businesses together to perform one task. Why is so difficult for us to be able to do that in our communities? Because if you could bring different businesses together for one common goal, and you have the integrity of the person who's holding the finances, which is the fiscal manager, to be able to properly pay each organization on time. Why can't we do that? Because the person who gonna get the money ain't gonna want to pay company A and C. Or I
I
don't
was about
like
to
this
say,
person, I don't want to pay company D and F.
I was about to say it might be a trust issue.
And that right there, we got to be able to conquer that before we really before we out here. I watch a lot of streams, and I listen to a lot of people, and I be saying to myself, boy, this work is, boy, I don't know if any of them have ever really put their boots on the ground to what we need, but this right here is a whole nother ball game. And so the only thing I see our people doing are receiving right now is part of what's already available. And that's the different programmatic funds that are out there. Because if we don't, if because they've gotten really crafty on saying, no, you gotta work together. Now in some cases, they're saying you have to have a municipality as a support and service on your team. How many people gaining relationships in the industries that they're a part of? Or how many communities or how many organizations gaining a relationship in the industries that they're a part of so that they can successfully create something in the community. This will be my first time. Honestly, this will be my first time. So that group that I was talking about or whatever, I got them squared away. As a matter of fact, I was waiting for somebody to hit me back so that I can finish it out. But the other community project I'm working on, which is that environmental protection one, this would be my first time literally working in a community where they're going to revitalize. This would be my first time. And so when I listen to other people, I'm saying to myself, do y'all even know what it takes? Do you even know what it takes to do that? Yes, I think that if there's a category of funding or a category of policies out there specifically for African Americans and Black people, just like they have for any other demographic of individuals, we should have our play at it. But until that comes about, we have to have we have to have some type of something set up so that we can govern ourselves. Because if we don't, what's going to happen? We're going to get shut down for oversight. We're going to get shut down for fiscal management. We're going to get shut down for improper record keeping or mismanagement of personnel, or I mean the list goes on. Lack of security or mishandling PII, like the list goes on. And so I'll have my first, if I'm not prohibited, I'll live stream and I will retreat if I'm not prohibited to. I'm not sure. They might say I cannot, based on the information that get put out. But if I do get the opportunity to, just look out for my stream and you'll hear the conversation. And this conversation is from the standpoint of, so here's the other piece. If I give you some money, can you sustain it? Do you know economic development? Or do you know how to budget the funds out? What can you use? How much of it can you have for a set aside, or can you? So this is how I would approach it. And this is just based off of my experience and what I've learned. If you give me funding, then I need to know how to leverage it. So I don't want just restricted funds. Because if you give me just restricted funds, then I'm limited to the categories of what you say I can spend or how I can spend it. But if I could get some restricted, meaning I have to have some type of mandate to keep me honest and keep me grounded. And those restricted funds I would want to be for salaries, because and for operations, because I want to make sure that people get paid properly and paid fairly and on time. The second would be some unrestricted funds so that I can do some economic development where I can make money back. So I don't want funds where I'm restricted that I can't earn. I can't use that money to make money. I can't fundraise with it. So I need some unrestricted money so that I can fundraise, because I have to come up with a vehicle of economic development. And the reason I have to fundraise, because maybe I don't have something that I can earn funds from as of yet. So I don't have that. I don't have nobody in my team creating software where I can push out subscriptions. I don't have nobody. I haven't made a product that's in high demand that where I have clients coming from out the yin yang. Brandon, you was about to say something?
No, I was going to ask you. You said you need restricted funds and unrestricted funds. The
Yeah,
restricted funds is
Yeah,
create salary for yourself and
or
operations for
just
the business.
salaries. Yeah, just
Just
salaries.
salaries,
Period.
not expenses of anything, or like it's just those
Operating
could be
expenses, like
okay.
assets, like for
Okay.
assets, like for real estate, maybe equipment if I need it. The reason I
Okay.
put it like that,
Mhm.
because if I get a if I get unrestricted funds, just here you go, you know, I'm more inclined, because I don't have no accountability back. I don't have to give you anything back to prove that I spent that money anywhere. And so we have this thing in auditing called needs, rationale, and opportunity. If I have
Mhm.
a need and I can ration in my mind, well, I take this and I'll put it back, and I get the opportunity to, I'm gonna do it. 9 out of 10, I'm
Okay.
gonna do it. If I know it's restricted and somebody got their eyes on me, and I say I'm putting 100K aside for 5 salaries, you know what I'm saying? I know I have to give 5 receipts showing, or 5 cancel checks showing that I paid 5 people, right?
Mhm.
Out of that 100K. So that's why I said like that. Because
Okay.
people tend, if they don't have any eyes on them, people tend to do anything. They tend to bend the rules. They tend not to play fair. So I always like to look at it. If I get restricted funds specifically for direct costs, which is usually labor, and um, for equipment, real estate, some assets, things that I know that I have to be accountable to, then I'm more likely to spend that money properly. Unrestricted, I want to be a little free. I want to be able to move those line items around because I really want that funds so that I can actually earn more money. I want to be able to take that money and be able to throw a fundraising event and gain capital from that. Whereas I can take that money that I earn and I can invest that, but I can't take the restricted funds and take it and go invest it. That makes sense?
Yeah, okay. I was just about to clarify. You said the unrestricted funds is something that you can do and invest in that, or you talk about the earnings from that unrestricted
The
funds.
earnings from it,
Okay,
the earnings from it. So I want to be able to flip it.
okay,
I want to be able to do a fundraiser or buy the supplies to do a fundraiser or rent the venue to do a fundraiser. You know, I want some unrestricted dollars that I can be able to strategize to make more money with it by if I get unrestricted money to I can do a venue, I can do equipment, I can get supplies. Oh, I can flip that because I can throw some type of event, right?
okay,
In that event, I can charge. Now, the money that I earn from my ticket sales or my vendors or my exhibitors, I could take some of that money and I can invest. Now I just created um revenue for myself. I could put that in, you know, I could put that in CDs, I could put that in money market, I could put it in T-bills, I could put it in things that's going to generate me money. I could put it in dividend stocks, you know what I'm saying?
hmm,
Those are, or I could take a portion of that and do that. And now I'm economically get, or I can invest it into another aspect of business that's going to make me more money. I always like to use King of Hope's example with this truck driver. Nonprofit organization had a skill set to teach a CDL, taught men who single fathers how to get a CDL, purchase trucks, put them in the trucks as drivers, earn money from them from a staffing agent besides, paid them fairly, and recycled the wheel. So revenues coming in, ain't have to go out and ask anybody for anything. Maybe initially to get that truck or two, but after that, it made its own money. Same
gotcha.
thing with a young lady that was referred to me. Her husband was a felon, couldn't get a job, but had gotten a diesel mechanic license when he was in prison. So he came out, did what he know best. They started buying salvage. Purchasing salvage dump trucks. He got his first one, fixed it up. They went on a construction site. Hey, I have a dump truck. I'd like to help you move some of this product if you need it. Got a contract. Went from one dump truck to 10 dump trucks, from making 75K a year to now profiting a million plus a year. Recycling. Didn't pay a thing, paid that little cost to purchase that salvage dump truck, which was what? When you salvage a vehicle, 9 out of 10 is what, 4, 5 thousand, if that?
Mm, yeah,
Recycled it, fixed it up. The only cost, put the money right back in the pocket. Too easy. So I always tell people you have to have, not only do you have to have a need, right? Because I can fund your need, they can fund our need all day, but can we sustain it? Because them funds gonna run out. They don't give you funds forever. They're gonna run out. So can you sustain it? It's the same thing we tell vets. Yeah, they're going to compensate you, CMP, compensation and pension, or you may even get a retirement check. But can you sustain off of that? Or can you take that and make money for you so that you can
mm,
have some longevity? And a lot of times, a lot of them, not the ones who just want to be homeless, but those who fall in hard situations, what they do is when they get good opportunities, they take Case in point, unemployment during the pandemic. Some people were getting $900 a week. They wasn't even making that before they got on the pandemic. But instead of them leveraging that 900 a week, they
Mm-hmm.
spent it. And they went got the rent free for a whole year. So not only did you not have to pay your rent, in some cases, not your utilities, you spent the $900, you took the free rent, and then when 2023 came in, the latter part of 2023, you got
You
evicted.
broke. Yep.
You got evicted. And then you say,
What I'm getting from
who
my phone.
fault? It's the government fault.
Yeah.
Shit, I wish I'd have got $900 a week. I mean, outside of what I already get. Just the mere fact. You could have if you're telling me that you and your homegirl, or you and your homeboy, or you and your boo couldn't come up with a plan, you was making, what is that? 30, was that 56, 36?
I think that's 56
Fifty
because
six
it
hundred
was
dollars a month. Let's see, 900 times 52. So you made 46,800. 9 out of 10, you probably was making 21,000 before that. You're telling me every week you and your boo couldn't come up with a strategy? Nope, you spent it all.
Hell no, we finna ball
did
out. Fuck you mean?
when they getting stipends for food too, or some type
Oh,
of
oh yeah, we can't forget about that. Each kid underneath 8, I think, was getting 300, and anybody older than that or
yep,
12 was getting
yep,
300 per child. And,
yep.
and and then those older were getting 250. Not to mention, hold on, we ain't done. That was the food part. You was getting $300 per child in the credit. They gave you the credit early. They gave you the credit early. 300 per child. Oh, and don't forget, this year the essential workers got 500. Wait, it was, if you made a certain amount, basically it came out to, like, I think $4,500 each essential worker. That the company got 20. Wait, I think the company got like 250 per employee, and each employee got like 500, because my friend got 82,000 altogether, I think. That was free. They didn't have to pay that back.
82,000 or what?
$82,000
Hell no.
for business, essential worker. Yeah, those essential workers,
Oh yeah.
nurses, yeah, they all got that. Um, and because I fussed at my friend, I said, "How? You already making close to $1 million? They gave you an additional 82, and you're telling me you ain't got no money in your business? Get the hell out of here!" Fiscal management. So not only do we have to teach kids fiscal management, shit, try teaching adults fiscal management with the understanding that you want to have economic growth within your own household, within your own business. Then you could talk about community. You can't talk about community until you fix the discipline at home. If each household fix the discipline at home, we might get somewhere. But how are we going to think about our community, and how are we going to think about the United States if we can't even get it right? And we can't get it right because we're too busy not tuned in to information that can help you. That's why you got rappers at a convention, because that's what they like. They ain't tuning in to no Democratic or Republican convention unless they entertaining them.
So why the
That's what
fuck is we
that's
voting
it.
for them, Dan?
Well, I'm voting because, listen, my my representative and my senator and my representative. Now I'm not talking about, well, I can't talk too bad about Lens because he helped the veterans. All you gotta do is call him. Them checks is coming, honey. He don't play
And
with the VA. He be on it. So I have to give him his little props. But my state representative and my House representative guy, they be on it. I don't know what y'all doing in y'all states. I can't help
and,
y'all. We
and
listen, we put somebody in the county council, the second one, this the second chick. And when I say turn your back, turn you back. But before she was there, two people before her, because one of them went to jail. She was a lawyer. She was spending the credit card, went to jail. Guess what she went, Brandon?
Cook County.
Italy, Italy. Talking about
So
she
why you
thought
got?
it was she used the
Always
wrong
bringing up
card.
Italy, man.
Look, she used the wrong card or whatever. They locked that butt up. She was a lawyer too. But before her, we had some county councils who used to make sure, make it do what it do in in the area. But man, this shit that is we see who get voted in and who shifting money our way. But I can't speak to everybody's community because everybody's community is not as involved with their constituents like the one I'm involved with. And so there is a difference. And I can see the frustration of everybody and why they think that certain things don't go a certain way. Because the people that you do vote in, they don't even, the only time you see them is during election. Shit, we see hours at every event we host, they right there. All of them. The two in the state, the two for the county, the two,
Man,
the chairperson over the county and the city, the sheriff, when I tell you they be, and that's why I'm like, hey, they got a good scenario going on. I don't know what y'all do over there, but maybe I don't invite them. Chris, you ever invite your county council to a community event?
man, fuck all of them, niggas.
You see what I'm saying? I can't do it. I,
Them niggas
I
ain't
can't either.
they ain't coming to no events, man. Them showing they face there, that's a stunt.
Well, I do
It
agree
may
with
be
Chris on this one.
it may be
It,
good for you, Mo, and the veterans. It may be good for the veterans, but I'm talking about the people in general. We ain't getting shit for no vote.
I
I
can't
get
see
it.
it in
You
this
don't want to
area.
vote for Trump. I get that. I understand. I ain't knocking people for that. You got to do, what, the people you feel like is going to do for you. I feel like, man, what I'm going to do for me. As long as they keep the stock market, uh, well, at this point, the stock market going to fall, but that's where my interest is at. Assets. Now there can be some programs and stuff out there that can benefit. I'm not taking that away from nobody. But if I was listening to this woman speak and, she got to be the president, no, hell no. She don't even know what the fuck she be talking about. She don't even know economics. She's sitting here, they asked her a question about inflation. She's stumbling, mumbling all over words. She don't know. How am I gonna take you serious? I can't bet on you to, do for me. And you know what I'm guarding? Now, if you're gonna go up there and be an actor, you got to play your part. Just make sure my
you good at it.
yeah.
Make sure
No,
you're good at
man.
that part.
Yeah. But I'm just saying I'm not knocking people for I am knocking people for,
It's
what
all
they
I am.
do. I ain't knocking people for not wanting to vote for Trump, is my point. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Um, but I ain't finna vote for her either. And I don't like the propaganda that these people doing, especially these Sambos up there. Oh man, the black man, we gotta protect the black woman. What? Nigga, what? Protect who? No. First of all, it's the difference between my mama and her, my grandmama and her, my sisters and her, my friends and her, my cousins and kin folks and all of them. Two different backgrounds. So no, you is not finna tell me that this is the same woman right here is the woman I was birthed by. Well, we don't even got to get into all of that. I just don't like that she don't know what the fuck she doing. If she was to do all of this stuff that she talking about, you already a vice president. Why y'all ain't brought this shit to the table? Why we gotta wait for you to become president for you to do this? See, I can rebut all of this shit, but we ain't even gotta get the rebuttal. First of all, you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
No, and
Actual smart
she
person,
been no fault,
huh?
Chris. I was gonna say she been quiet for what, 4 years?
Yeah.
What
So
she
I
what
mean,
had
yeah. Why all of a sudden, you know, you got to get into the seat of president to actually make some moves. Well, you a vice president right now, and you ain't even done that job right. So what make you think I'm gonna vote you to put you in the next seat for you to do your duty? Come on, man. I don't know. I'm not playing that game. I get it. People want to. You know, oh, you got to do your right to vote. I'd rather vote for the white lady that was going in her neck. That's who I would rather vote for because she kept it a buck. So there you go. I'm gonna vote for her. Now, you know, because you got your black people out there that want to be like, oh, so you gonna vote for Trump? Why is everything gotta be Trump? Just because I don't agree with Kamala Harris. That's propaganda. You got celebrities, comedians. They even got people, influencers, to promote for them. They having whole damn rap concerts at the convention. That spells desperation. If you can't see it, maybe you got to peel the scales off your eyes. I'm gonna have to go with the Israelites on this one. The Most High covered their eyes from the truth. He blinded them from the truth. They 2/3. So that's the end of my rant, man. It's at the end of the day, to me it's entertainment, so I laugh and make fun of it. Other people really take it to heart. It's serious for them. They will fight you tooth and nail about it. But you ask them, simple questions like, okay, all the stuff that she proposing, why she not doing it now? She even tried to propose, to what was it? To stop the price gouging of groceries. I'm like, well, there's no evidence of that. And how are you going to even remotely even try to fix that if that was the case? You're not doing it now, so you become a president. I don't get it. So it's just too much silly stuff, man. I'm like, I don't even argue with people about that. I just play devil's advocate, and they still, oh, so you want Trump to destroy us and destroy our country? I'm like, I said nothing about Trump at all. But
you you hit it right on the head, Chris. I'm with you today. I mean, you know, this whole time listening to the speech and talking about opponent, you know, she's been on Trump's neck. Rightfully so, she needs to be to win this
mhm,
election. But she hasn't said anything that she would do to change like a specific type of plan. She's been giving good fluff through the whole entire thing.
right,
I mean, even from Obama to Michelle, they've been telling their backstories and what Kamala can do. But give me the plan or something. Throw me a nugget of something that you think that's going to happen for the American people. What is your plans? You're not giving a plan. We just talking about, oh, this is what we need to, oh, we need to do this. This is what I'm gonna do potentially. Nah, you need to come up with a plan. Put in. This would be the perfect time to put in the DNC. I mean, like shit, you supposed to tell me everything that you're gonna do if you do get voted.
Hmm.
Nah, she just giving me good fluff. She just said something about some schools. Okay, how you going? I don't know if y'all even watching this stuff, but it it's just
That's hilarious, bro.
it's
It's
hilarious. It's entertainment.
yeah.
That's what it is. And like you said, they got rappers at the damn conventions. I'm like, man, they had this last year? Did they have this at Obama's thing? Hell
Yeah,
no.
right.
I'm like, no, they like, what the hell is this? So, that's where we're at as society, as people. We need to be entertained in order to vote for. No, and Mo, I get what you're saying um, about the veteran thing and everything. And I don't want to almost hurt your feelings, but you think she's qualified to run the United States?
Who
Hold up.
is that takes those spots though? I
I'm
think
just
that
saying.
I don't think I think that you have to be someone who's willing to listen to those individuals who you put in charge that are more of an expert than you. I think
Right.
that this Trump didn't even go to the briefings that the Pentagon would put on. I fall off the bus with that side of the fence. Now, if somebody else come along or whatever, I don't know. You might got a winner, but I just don't see how. It, to me, if you're going to select someone that would at least listen to their figureheads and that would engage and proper um take the reports and take the proper advice. Don't just brush it off, do your own thing, and thinks that and hope that nothing happens under your watch. That's just the wrong approach. But for me, for either side, I always take the okay when they do get there because I mean it'll take what is it how that cliche it'll take an act of Congress. It'll take an act of Congress for us to get something specifically for us. We just get
Mhm.
bypassed and ran over regardless of who's there. So what I started doing was looking at okay, what is there and what could be done with it. Case in point example. All of that money that came down through the infrastructure bill, you had state governments turning it back. You putting lipstick on a pig. Y'all know the expression. We don't want no pork money. Turn it back. Okay. Then when they take the money and send it overseas, now you're mad because they gave it to Ukraine. Well, shit, you the one sent it back. What are we talking about? Like, how do you, it's almost like government, top government, federal government, regardless of what side, you can't win for lose. If your state government refuse the funding coming down to help in your communities because it doesn't benefit them. I had a guy say, "Oh, I'm not concerned about that funding because it doesn't benefit us, it benefits them or y'all." Like, oh, so tell them how you really feel,
So was
you
that an actual
know?
fact? Was that an actual fact that funding that was
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah. It was
supposed to
supposed to,
go?
yeah, it was benefiting underserved communities. And it was a
Okay.
bit case in point, the farmers. When they put all of that money out for the farmers, what them folks did, they sued discrimination. How you gonna just give it to the African American farmers? They sued until they got some. They had to come back and redo and give the farmers, those African American farmers, those black farmers, some more money later on because White folks sued and said that you can't just get, well, not white. Let me rephrase it. White women sued. That's how they played it because the white women fall under the quote unquote minority category. So when they said you're giving minority farmers, they was like, well, why can't we apply because we fall under that category? So they had to change it. And then they just not gave black farmers money again. So every time we try to get something, hold on, let me answer this. I'm trying to get in this veteran summit. Every time we try to get something specifically for us, so that's where the fight or the dismantle should be is removing, and I thought that that one group was going at it the right way by saying dismantle the minority category and break it out, right? Because in that category falls the white woman, who in turns, whatever we don't use, they take, and we don't use a lot. And mainly because of what I was talking about early is structure, how we're put together. So all of the funding, any funding that comes out underserved, unincorporated, poverty stricken, low and moderate income, a lot of times, or majority of the times, or our communities, but a lot of the fund sometimes the um the governors send it back, going back to the infrastructure bill. When I go home, well, in Carolina, they took the infrastructure bill money and they done revitalized almost the whole downtown. All our streets are good, so I can't talk about them. But when I rode down to Louisiana, I'm like, what the hell? Y'all just, why did y'all turn the money back and all your roads are jacked up? That's just dumb. And that's a Republican state. But they gave the money back. Why? Now your constituency looking crazy because all of that money, um, hold on, let me tell them I'm trying to get in the summit. Come on, pull some strings. I need to be in DC. Um, all all of that money that they had for rebuilding, like one of the parishes, they built the jail, huh? But you got schools that been sitting there since your grandmother was in elementary that you haven't even rebuilt, but you gonna go build another jail? So a lot of some of that, a lot of that funding, what's the other one? American Rescue Plan money, another uh uh act that came out that had a whole bunch of money that governors did what? We don't want none of that. Send that back to the feds. Y'all just wasting money. Oh, okay, we're gonna take it. We're gonna send that to Ukraine too, since y'all don't want to spend it. But the states that are spending it, you could tell. You could look around and see who's using it, who's benefiting it. It's a lot of money that's out there. It's not, it doesn't specifically say black people or African Americans, but there's a lot of funding. But guess what? We can't get it because a lot of people, or they don't want to do business with the government, or two, the ones who have the means or the structure to get the funding to help, revitalize the areas or put us in better economic situations, they're too greedy to work or bring somebody else on with them. And that's pretty much where they are. And matter of fact, a lot of the funding that's available has things like, I was in a class, matter of fact, I was in two classes at one time today. I had one plan on my iPad and I had one plan on my cell phone. The one that on my iPad was Department of Labor. They just changed the rule July 1st, 2024. If you have a salary employee that makes less than 58,000 a year, and you work them more than 40 hours a week, you have to pay them overtime. That's an area that a lot of businesses was getting over on because they figure they can throw you on salary, couple $1,000, they can work you whenever they want. Because what? You on salary, you can't pay them, you don't pay them overtime. Well, I could tell you, our company was one of them. They tossed a couple of them supervisors on salaries, took them off hourly like everybody else, just so they wouldn't pay them overtime. Well, Department of Labor just changed their rules. So I had to call them. I say, hey, you know this affects you, right? Nah, they don't affect that. What do they mean? What do they mean? What you mean? Well, I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna have to tell them they gotta start going home. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm.
we pay our drivers, all our drivers make over 50 something thousand a year. But guess what? They were shortchanging some folk, the administrative folk, they were shortchanging them. And the Department of Labor put the rule in place. Now they mad. Well, you make enough money to pay them people properly. Quit playing and get them people that money.
Mm.
That's another one. The what's that other bill that came out? So I'm gonna pull the list of all the funding. I'm trying to pull the list of all the funding that's like, oh, that's where I was going with that. A lot of the grants or a lot of the funding opportunities that are there, a lot of it, a lot of those having it business, business structure, that's a key word these days, and organizational structure, that's a key word these days, capacity building to teach people how to galvanize and put organizations together, training, conferences, because they realize that, okay, the places where we need to put money, those individuals has never had access to it. Therefore, they don't know how to manage it. Not saying that you don't have the skill set to manage it, but you don't know the rules and regulation to govern those funds. So now I have to give somebody some money to come out and teach you how to do that. So even with what they have, the other flip side to it, some of the stuff you guys saying, very valid points. But then there's another side. There's always other sides to the story too, or another component, or another area, or another category of, okay, what about this side over here that we could be utilizing? I said on Q Butters channel the other night, if you have a business and you live near a rural area, or if you considering a business, and you're in a brick and mortar, and your brick and mortar is in the inner city, you're not taking advantages what's available to you. You need to take your little stuff out the inner city, especially if you're close to a rural area. Pot your little stuff in that rural area and take advantage of all the tax breaks that Amazon and all the other manufacturers take advantage of. That's why they put their businesses right at the edge of the county line, because they're gonna get the tax break for each employee, $1,000 per person. They're gonna get the tax break for being in that rural area. They're going to get the what's that other, it's at least four tax breaks that they can get. They're going to get the what you call the job training, and get half their
Yeah.
labor back. And then if they cross train you, they're going to get half of that money back. That stuff happening behind the scenes that the employees don't even know about. They just know they being cross trained. But that employer is filing with the workforce and getting half that money back, at least up to 6 months, for everybody that they hire. So they don't care if they got high turnover. They just get their money back again. You can leave and send me somebody all day long. Why? Because they just recycling money. And that's why they stay in the green, because they learn, okay, what benefit I have to come in this way. And how, case in point, we had Scott Motors just came to the Carolinas. Scott Motors come in, you know big cash cow for the Columbia area, but Nobody realized that they said, "Oh, we're gonna bring jobs, 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 jobs." Okay, yeah. But who the hell trained these people to go work? So they had to revamp and come up with a freaking jobs training program to get these people trained up because majority of the individuals they hired, they had no skills. So there's a lot of skills, job training skills type grants that's available. Like we lack so much, and it's not just us. It's a lot of different demographics. We lack so much that even if there was something available to us of everything that you guys are talking about, we're not even ready for it. So that's why I used to respect the ancestors of how they used to do things back in the day. They would have their undercover ground meetings and they would train so that you could gain some skills. But we too busy turning up. Too busy turning up. And then when you try to sit a group down to say, hey, here's what I need to teach you. This, and this, so that we can be successful. These are the areas you need to learn. Or if you're going to go to school, I need you to take these type of classes because this is going to help you be successful outside of what you're trying to do. I'm not taking that. Oh, that's boring. That don't. Why would I do that? I'm not interested in that. Oh, okay. Go take what you want. I see you in 4 years when you be trying to get a job.
Shit. Nowadays, it ain't about what you're interested in. It's about
Say it
what get you
again.
paid.
You say it again.
I was interested in art when I was in high school and college. Shit, not anymore.
Say it again.
Got-
I wish you could say that louder for my niece to hear.
Hey, you, I get her. I tell her
You know.
because that shit it ain't tough. I mean, like having a liberal arts degree is cool and everything, but that shit don't translate to the real world.
Mm-mm.
It don't.
Mm-mm.
You just stuck with with a $65,000 degree and some paper.
Right. If you take
So
a group, if you say, okay, hey, all right, I see where this is going. Either way, whichever direction it goes, right? This is what's possible that's going to be available for future. Okay, let's gear up for like one of the girls on that she said, hey, you know, the VP started an organization last year in environmental justice. They've already poured money into it. Ding, 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 ding. That's what you're looking like. Okay, well, shoot, if she did that, you already know where the dollar's going. I
right,
mean, you all are taught follow the money. What are they doing? Let me see where their interests are. Let me explore that to see how that works, right? So, but if you hear it on the surface, if you hear it on the surface, you're like, okay, what is that? Okay, what does that really mean? You know, are we going around locking people up because they, messing up the ozone layer? Like what does that really mean? I didn't even know the air quality in the county was, oh my God, horrible. I the things that you learn after the fact, you got people dying of cancer or catching this and catching that, and it's all because somebody in your community polluted your waters or storing um nuclear waste or whatever they got going on. Why? Because they done came there and plotted some stuff in the somewhere out there in the woods you don't even know about, and it's affecting your whole area. Don't even know it. Matter of fact, in my hometown, we have this smell because we have a is an oil plant. Well, at least I think it's only whatever it is, but it's been there for years. And so every time at a certain time, it would let off this smell. And I'll never forget growing up, they used to say, oh, that's just the oil mill. I don't even think anybody even thought about, yo, we might need to do some testing over there. Who's died of what? How is this affecting this area? How is this affecting the health of the people around? Like, da, 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 da. And I never thought about it because I'm just not learning this stuff now. It's something that went over my head. I wouldn't have even thought about that. But it's a lot of things that we just kind of we bypassing, and it's available. We just don't know how to get to it. So when they change the rules or they change the wording, we're not following. You know, anytime somebody put on the job training together under environmental justice project and you don't know how to use it, well, that means go out and teach the kids on how to come out and do these things, how to test water quality, how to test air quality, how to do land conservation projects, things of that nature. You won't know. Well, matter of fact, I signed Zion up for a STEM uh, fair this Saturday from 9 to 12. Because I'm like, if this is where the funding is going, if these are the type of things that he need to be paying attention to, then I need to start exposing them right now. Let me see if I can get your attention.
I was gonna say that's the key word right there, exposure.
Yeah. How
Just to get
many?
them out the
And
house.
so I've been posting it, you know, to see who. I've been saying, hey, this is free. Y'all need to sign your kids up. Told my friend she had four young kids at the house under 13 years old. Yo, your kids need to be over there. It's free. I don't care what y'all got going on. It's only 9 to 12, 3 hours. It's free. University of Clemson is coming down. Same thing. That's another thing. They're partnering a lot of funding going through the universities to host these programs because the community nonprofits aren't taking advantage of them. So what they're doing now, they're shifting. A lot of funding is coming through the tech schools, um, especially, and that's why I always say our HBCUs are missing opportunities because we're in a time right now they can get a lot of research money. There's a lot of money in R&D right now, research and development, a lot. Question is, who's paying attention other than waiting for homecoming to turn up or Friday night football, HBCU football? If I had a team, I'd be dangerous. I'd be dangerous, Brandon.
I already know, bro.
Uh,
Don't
oh, about
don't
the Clippers.
I'd be, listen, I'd be able to commit. If I was charismatic, I would be able to communicate it in a way. See, in the Bible Belt, so many people you gotta be able to hoop and holler to get their attention. You know, you gotta have that ministry swag. I ain't got that at all.
Oh God.
You know, so it's you can't get your point across, or you can't get them to buy in. You know, if you could get them to buy in, if you could get a group to buy in, but we have a little young group, right? Um, they're probably like 20, 23, 24, 25. So we're running nature's about a good 20, 30 of them, whatnot. They in all the avenues of, they have their own little organization, their own little nonprofit. And so they just kind of like sub under larger nonprofits right now. And they go out and they do community projects. But they're learning and they're very politically astute. So they be in county council meetings, they be at city council meetings, they be in everybody meeting, you know, asking questions, gaining knowledge. Oh, yawning. Don't be yawning at me. Because I'm sharing the information.
Who was yawning at you?
You better not be.
Why you feel offended?
I'm not offended, Shawty.
You gonna
I'm
call
on
Kamala Harris on me? That ain't gonna
I'm on
work.
my game. I don't need Kamala. As long as she don't stop my check, I'm fine.
Uh,
You gonna cut your check, what?
I'm good with it. Nah, she don't want to do that. She ain't about that life. Hey, I won't even have to get to her first. Some other people gonna get to her first or whatnot. We ain't concerned about that right there, you know. But I do think, but I do want us to really pay attention to, we used to do that when AE would come on. We would go and look at what the bills were, and then we would determine what's in it for us. Y'all
right.
remember some of that?
Yeah.
We would go in and we would check it out. Like, let's see what's really going on up in here. You know,
No,
can we be a part of that? Can we really, you know?
hell
That's what I'm
no.
saying. In reference to like the infrastructure one, it was like the roads, the bridges. Man, they didn't added bridges over here. They didn't repair bridges over here. The clean drinking water, well, they need to still work on that because we still got problems with that. Internet, that's the little issue. They gotta get that right. The climate crisis, well, I don't know if they can really do anything to help that, but I guess they could put forth little stuff. Advanced
And
environmental justice.
we
That
going to
was a
Mars,
sneaky,
so
huh?
say we going to Mars, so I guess that's something.
Right, right. Right. Invest in communities that um have often been left behind. Those are your unincorporated, your um your food desert type areas. Uh, you know, airports, rails, we already know a lot of airports have expanded. I don't know about in y'all areas, but ours have expanded. I know two in the boot have expanded. Uh, the rural, a lot of the rural areas, um, you just have to, in reference to that, you really have to have a nonprofit that can take the lead on that part right there because they're not going to do it. You got to do it. They want the people to do it, and that's the hard part about that because then that's where the training come in. So I started going back to the trainings that they offer with the small business. Like right now, a lot of the funding that they sent down through the Community Investment Act, through the CDFI, that funding, um, those banks are only funding real estate and equipment. So if you're not trying to, buy a building or, something of that nature, rent a building or whatever, or buy some type of equipment, they ain't trying to give you no money. You know, it's well, I'm gonna pull some stuff. Maybe able to help. I'm gonna pull out some. So,
I was just about to ask you, are you still going to make that list or find that list?
yeah, because I had one the other day. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out because of some things I don't know if you were on when we were talking. It was me and Price, and we came across the was it decarbonization. We were talking about we it led us to that, and there was a grant that USDA had for um it was new too. Let me see if I can find it. It was a big they have I think it was like $4 million that they had announced that let's see, It was an initiative, and I was like, and it was for it had businesses involved, and I was like, where is this? I ain't never seen this, you know, for some grants like urban agriculture and innovation production competitive grants for expanding gardens in the urban and in the suburbs, targeting food access, education, business, and startup costs for new farmers. I knew somebody who just started a farm. I sent it to them. But of course, anytime you send somebody something, they be like, can you help me do it? I'd be like, shit, I can't do the shit I'm doing now. I can't do it for everybody. That's why I be wishing people just listen in. They can gather the nuggets and train their team because they think I'm Superwoman and I'm not. I could just share
Got that line though. That line.
what what
You are Superwoman. I knew it.
shit. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. But the more information I get, I try to share it to make it a little bit more practical for people who are in those spaces and then may be able to help them because you have to have somebody who's out learning this stuff so that they could come back and share with the team and help the team, train the team and get you where you need to be because a lot of this is a lot. This is a lot. I think this is right here. Let me see. Innovative. The FFAR Innovation Challenge. No, the Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research. Big money. There's some things. $2 million. Shit. Nourishing next generation agri food breakouts. What they want you to do. Applicants are strong, encouraged to let me share my screen. I'm just talking Brandon probably like I want to see.
I was just about to ask you.
Hold on. Let me share my screen.
Mumbo jumbo she talking about.
Be quiet, Chris. You go to sleep. Brandon always asking about grants.
Huh?
Let's see. This is the USDA FFAR Innovation Challenge, nourishing the next generation agri-food breakthroughs. So the US Department of Agriculture and
Hold on, Mo, not
Foundation
sharing.
for Food. It's not sharing? Oh,
Mhm.
hold on. Where'd it go? It says it's sharing.
It's
Oh,
still
hold
on
on.
that.
It's still not sharing?
No, it's on that CNN's business.
Hold on.
No, it ain't on your screen.
Hold on. Let me go stop sharing that. Hold on. Oh, one second.
You trying to show something from Joe Biden?
I'm just trying to show grants. Huh? You can say what you want. We getting our fair share. You ain't got like Joe. Let me see. I thought Joe Biden. You probably ain't even trying to apply for nothing Joe Biden have or Trump, so it don't matter.
They ain't giving me nothing.
Cause you ain't even trying to get nothing.
I'm trying to get everything.
Boy, you ain't trying to get nothing.
They got me in their system, so they gonna always be a hater.
They got you in the system. You ain't even trying to get nothing. You just making noise for nothing. You ain't
Now,
trying to be by that way.
what they gonna give a young black entrepreneur that know too much. They ain't finna give me shit or a hard time.
You don't think so?
Oh, they'll
Put
give me
that
something.
class. Texas always got money for training. You can go train, put your training together, or use somebody else's and train some young folk. Let's see. It says the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, and the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research are seeking research proposals for a funding opportunity that will drive innovations at the intersection of human health. Oh, I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah, human health is big right now, and the psychology. Human health, climate smart agriculture, and social justice, equity, and opportunity to advance nutrition security. The nutritious next generation agri food breakthroughs innovation challenge will fund early career scientists within 10 years of receiving a PhD or equivalent degree to lead highly collaborative interdisciplinary teams on groundbreaking research that addresses nutrition security. Boom. If you in the grad program and you into agriculture, that's your money right there. Bam. They're awarding up to 2 million. That's not my area, but I'm sure somebody at Texas A&M or Southern or was it Alabama A&M, North Carolina A&T, South Carolina State, Clemson, all those places that have those agriculture um postgraduate degree programs. There you go. There you go. Identify and support dynamic and disruptive technologies in nutrition security that aligns with the USDA science and research strategy. 2023 to 2026, cultivating scientific innovation. Where your STEM folk at? There you go. Successful applicants are strongly encouraged to describe their plans for stakeholder engagement methods that involve a wide range of people and communities to inform and disseminate their research. Man, a PhD student, this for PhDs all day. Come get this money. 350 to 500, come get it. Do y'all thing. But that's not the one I was looking for. However, that was available. Resources for minority and women farmers. Oh, this is the Carolinas. This page offers guidance to program loans, grants, information, and other resources for minority farmers in South Carolina. The South Carolina Department of Agriculture maintains this guide to promote access for historically underserved communities in the state's agriculture community. If you're looking for something that's not here or see information, there you go. Contact that person right there. Who is a minority farmer? A minority farmer is someone who is considered socially disadvantaged by the Department of Agriculture. It is someone who, because of his or her affiliation with a particular group, may have been subject to discrimination in the process of applying for agriculture related government services. Those groups include women, Hispanics, African Americans, Asians, Asian American, American Indians, Alaskan Natives, and Pacific Islanders. There you go. This is for farmers. Whole bunch of grant. This is the USDA stuff that there's another grant though. Hold on. There's one in particular I'm looking for that me and Price ran.
Mm.
And it was like four. And it had Small business involved. Look at USDA announces 22 million to support underserved and veteran farmers and ranchers through the 2501 program. U.S. Department of Agriculture today announced approximately 22.3 million available to community-based and nonprofit organizations, institutions of higher education, and tribal entities to help underserved and veteran farmers and ranchers own and operate successful farms. I know a few of them.
Uh-uh.
You should talk about some
Who that's for?
South Carolina Department of Agriculture administered numerous federal grants and cooperative agreements internally through the initiative of its various departments. Many inquiries are received by SCDA Grants Administrative Office from individual farmers, growers, and producers looking for ways to fund their farm needs. I always say the Hebrews talking about their farms or the Moors talking about their farms. I always say, boy, they could really make some money.
Who?
The Hebrews, I
Yeah.
always hear them talking about farms, Hebrews and the Moors. And I always say, hopefully, they got somebody that's tapping into this money for them. 12 million available for repair, rehabilitation of rural housing units through USDA. What's going on here? The U.S. Department of Agriculture Rural Development Department is making approximately 12.2 million in grants available to eligible participants for repairs and rehabilitation of homes, rental properties, and cooperatives for people in the rural area with low and very low incomes. Eligible areas include rural areas and towns with 20,000 or less. I need to put in for this. The funding is through the USDA Housing Preservation Grant Program and is part of the agency's celebration of home ownership month. Under the Housing Preservation Grant, most state and local government agencies, federally recognized Indian tribes, nonprofit groups, and faith-based organizations will be eligible for the funding. Awarded funds could go towards repair and replace electrical wiring, foundations, roofs, installations, heating systems, and water and waste disposal systems. Support accessibility features, purchase construction materials, finance administrative expenses up to 20%. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, man. How did I miss this? 20% for administrative expensive? Finance administrative? What? Normally, the threshold is 10%. Individual homeowners are not eligible for this program. Ooh, I need to keep my eyes on this. Dang, how did I miss this? July 29th. That'll be done. All right, let me see what they were looking for. Wow, I missed out, y'all. I missed out. I missed out. I missed out. I'm gonna shoot in for this. Cause do what I do. I'm gonna be ready next time though. Okay, how may the funds be
Mm-mm.
used?
No,
They said, mm-mm.
I'm not
Dang.
ready next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be ready next time.
Next time.
Yep.
You
When
should
they
have
put it
been
out
ready
there.
this time.
I wasn't even looking for the grants. I should have been paying attention. Let's see what
Mm-hmm.
the checklist is. Let's look at the checklist. What they're looking for. I don't need this part.
Well,
Oh, this is a different app. I don't need that part. Dang, that is not good. I done missed out on some dollars.
Uh,
Let's keep the party rolling. Community facilities grant. So I know somebody who got this grant. This is for people who, let me see if I can get to it because it's open year round. Let me put state. Let me put care. Okay. So this community facilities grant, what does this program do? Where'd it go? Stop acting
I
crazy.
like that.
What does this program do? This program provides affordable funding to develop essential community facilities in rural areas. An essential community facility is defined as a facility that provides an essential service to the local community for the orderly development of the community in a primarily rural area and does not include private, commercial, or business undertaking. Let's see. Rural areas including cities, villages, towns, and townships and towns, including federally recognized tribal lands with no more than 20,000 residents. According to the U.S. Census for eligible for this program, how many funds we spent? Funds can be used to purchase, construct, and or improve essential community facilities, purchase equipment, and pay related project expenses. So it could be a healthcare facility, it could be a public facilities, it could be a community support services such as child care centers, community centers, fairgrounds, and tradition housing, public safety services, educational services, utility services, local food systems such as community gardens, food pantries, community kitchens, food banks. Now we did it. The guy who I helped get this, he had a community kitchen. He feed the youth, and so they redid his kitchen for him. And these are all through that I'm saying right now through the USDA. I just talked that one. This let's see. Um, here's some small business grants. Now accepting applications. Check your eligibility. Grant funding requires federal financial assistance to help US-based businesses and nonprofit entities. Financial assistance will be allocated to eligible qualified small businesses and nonprofit entities based on the availability of funds, program guidelines, and submission of all required information supporting documentation. Alternative funding options also available. Applications are now open. So this is who's funding this. Let's see what industry I'm talking about. Let's see, education. Let's see, 50 grants. You have to put in all your information. So this looks like a hub. This look like a database type, like somebody sponsored. Well, I can't find that for me though. I think it had a little bit to do. Let me see. USDA grants. Oh, oh, over here tripping. I think it was decolonization. I think, let's see, comes up. Rural Energy for America programs. This just USDA, and I suspect that okay, so this one fell under the Inflation Reduction Act. Let's see what kind of, let's see. There's the grant. I'm gonna take some time and put all these together. Y'all might be useful, maybe useful to you all. Renewable energy. And then finding something that may apply in your little sector.
Nice.
I can't even. There was a grant. There was a specific grant. I'm gonna find that, and I had sent it to someone. Was this it? Rural Energy Pilot Program. Oh, no, that's old. I had sent this to someone, and I was like, man, I gotta come back to that because they knew somebody. Check a text message. They knew somebody in uh USDA, and they were supposed to ask them about it. Let me go back a couple text messages. But yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff out there. We could take a whole day to go through. Just go through grants. There's so much stuff that's available. You just got to know how it applies. And I think a lot of times we don't know how some things apply, so it makes it difficult, you know, to see whether or not anything is available for you or does it benefit you, you know, in my opinion. So yeah. But anyways, anywho, you still watching the convention?
Oh,
Everything with
Well, Chris, we know you ain't watching, but Brandon was tuning in
No, I was listening to
just to
it.
listen in. Hmm?
I was just listening. I got tired of that big ass speech that you
no, got it recorded, trying to sell tape.
Who?
did. Oh, you got
No, I usually don't watch them. The only reason I was scanning through was because one of my friends, a couple of my friends are there, who are they're ambassadors for Biden. Oh, here it is. I found it. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna share my screen. Share. Let me see. Found the grant. And this is I let's see. This is yeah, there it is. Let me show them. This- Yeah, they down there in Chicago turning up. But her daughter is her granddaughter is one of Kamala Harris campaign managers. So
Mm.
they're down there in Chicago. Yeah, they family been in politics for years. Whole family been in some form of politics. Uh, yeah, 4.5 million in funding to establish 3 additional USDA nutrition hubs in communities across the country. The new nutrition hubs will provide tailored and scalable approaches to equitable, advanced food and nutrition security and help prevent diet related chronic diseases, especially in historically underserved communities. If y'all don't think they're not talking about us, y'all are crazy. Additional hubs will create a network that builds on the work of the Pilot Nutrition Hub established last year in partnership with Southern University and A&M College. That's in Louisiana. I didn't even know that. They did a hub down. So Southern got some big money, huh? Let me see. Applications for this new initiative award program are being accepted through October the 3rd. So let me see if there's some other type of build a nutrition hub. Now, why South Carolina State, Benedict, Allen, Voorhees, Morris, any of them HBCUs down here didn't jump aboard? Tell me why. I'm just saying. At 4.5 mil, I guess they're just gonna let Southern take it all, huh?
Uh,
I mean, opportunities for the HBCU, and they all in close to rural areas or in undeserved communities. It says these nutrition hubs present an exciting new opportunity through our AFRI program portfolios to strengthen extension, research, and education efforts of our nation's land grant universities. South Carolina State, okay, the other HBCUs might not qualify, but South Carolina State definitely qualifies under the research and development. I said that earlier. So it's some money out there. But guess what? We gotta we gotta put our little brain to work. We can't just get anything. Yep, land grant institutions. Oh, for-profit organizations other than small businesses. See, nonprofit. Oh, regular nonprofit. We should have jumped on that. Hmm. I don't know if I'm large enough to tackle it, but I might could do a little hub. I need to go back and revisit that. I might could do a little something. Take some read. See, a lot of this stuff takes reading. So you gotta have a team, you know. These different program education and workforce. So these are all the different programs underneath it that you can do. I'm gonna have to start dedicating some weekends to read stuff so I can communicate it more effectively. But all in all, you'd have to look at a lot of this information, a lot of this content, and then come back and say, okay, now let me put something together that tailors this, and then come back and look at this. Enhancing agricultural literacy and workforce training. Offers institutional grants for in-service training in order to provide 4 through K educators increased knowledge on food and agriculture science discipline. They training their teachers on how to get involved with agriculture. Professional development, agriculture. That means agriculture workforce grant, training grants. That means if you know somebody who's into agriculture, maybe a graduate or maybe worked in the field, put a program together and come train. That's grant money. Developing pathways, build grant mechanisms to provide formal or non-formal education, experimental learning for students to enter or gain skills applicable to the food and field of agriculture because we don't have a lot of people going into those fields. And even though USDA will pay for their undergrad and their master's program, Sleep on it if you want to. I'm just saying. Even got something for the postgraduates. It's out here if we want it, but we gotta read. Now, y'all can keep saying that ain't nobody doing nothing. That's y'all's choice. I'm just saying. It's a lot. And I'm just at one agency. I ain't even tipped the iceberg. But this is not just under one side of the spectrum. This stuff is available on either side. It's available. This stuff has been out here for years. It's just a matter of, getting who wants to be the compliance person, the writers, to get out here and say, hey, let's put our brains together and go after some funding. Let's teach kids on how to grow their own food. You know, let's put a program together because there's funding available. I mean, we talk some noise, but do we really want to be about that life? Because it takes time and it takes effort.
You know,
So, I mean, regardless of where it comes from, you still got to have somebody who will get out there, do the research, and can put it together, can put that packet together. I wish I would have grasped um the research part of it earlier on. You know, I would be much quicker at what I do. But guess what? You got AI now.
mhm.
AI can put it together for you. I know people don't like to hear you say that, but it'll sure give you enough content for you to work around. You could read it and then revamp it to make it work for you. I might do that one day live. You know. But anyways, I ain't gonna bore you, Brandon. That's just my little shenanigans.
That's not a boy. I mean, it's something new. It just takes time for me to get acclimated to, the rents, fully understand the whole onus of it. I mean, like you
Yeah.
said, that reading aspect is going to be a big hurdle for me to jump over, but it's something if it leads to a bag and potentially starts my financial freedom journey, yeah,
So at
I'm
this at this point in your career, you would be thinking about, can I turn my career into a program?
hmm
And is there funding for what I know?
right.
Because that's next level. Once you conquered almost retirement stage of what you're doing, next level is, can I turn my knowledge into a program that in turn gives me funding to be able to facilitate it and teach somebody else? That's where you should be with it. That's where anybody should, right? That's because that's what they do. When officers come out the military, majority of them don't go get a job. They go become consultants. And
Really.
because of who they were, they're more likely to be hired or contracted with, you know. But in the same sense, so what we should be saying is, okay, when you become a certain age, if you know if you maximize your work, or you could possibly retire from your work, then start looking to turn your um your experience into a program. Or maybe if you was a good manager and how to deal with people, or if you you know uh, good person, a person that knows how to organize a business or create a supply chain or deliver whatever it is, how can you turn that into a program, a business where you can be compensated to teach people? Like anybody with a trade should also be thinking about a training program because they could go out and because we're lacking trade skills,
especially in the black community.
especially in our community, because we have fallen for the administrative, the support jobs versus the actual hands-on. Matter of fact, didn't we just read that one of the jobs areas was in the admin
Mm-hmm.
business that lost jobs, you know.
Yeah.
But the question is, when you think about your life and the years, the longevity of it, you know, you should think about, okay, at what point, at what age I want to do this and still have some type of lifestyle after. Or am I just gonna work the entire time? No room for play, no room for relaxation. Just all I did was live to work.
But that don't sound like
Live to work.
yeah,
That's what happens though.
true.
I mean, how often? I mean, look at some people when you go, even when you go to Walmart, the greeter. How old the greeter be? Standing
Damn near 35
there.
ACB.
You know, you nowadays you rarely see in the teenagers. At least a couple years ago, you used to see a whole bunch of teenagers in the grocery stores. Now you're starting to see the adults again. You know, I mean, this is it's two edged. It's always two edged. You know, but hey, it's a choice. Yeah, but look, I'm gonna look for those. I'm definitely gonna look for those. Movie got somebody trying to get me in this veteran summit because I'm late.
Yeah.
Uh, I hope he can pull some strings. Please let Monica in. I want to go so bad. And then I was supposed to go to the game this weekend, and I forgot that I was lead over the chapter, veterans chapter, and I got to volunteer. So I had to find
Oh
me
dang.
another game to go to.
Oh dang. Pay for the tickets already?
No, because I had a feeling something was right.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to find me another game. I'll figure it out. I was just like, and then I wasn't gonna make it anyway because the game is tomorrow. No, I'm sorry,
Oh,
it's Saturday. It's Saturday.
okay.
And then all these games, oh, they do play I mean, they play Miami, but I have something to do. All these games is like, where's the Raven? That's Baltimore?
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. And all the family is going to the October 6th game in Houston, Texans. But now, and I'll find one of these games. I wish they had played the Panthers down here, but I guess they'll play them next year down here.
It's still preseason, right?
Yeah, they don't start the season. Let's see. On the 8th, September 8th, the Cardinals. You watch football, Brandon?
I do. I'm not like I used to be a big fan. I mean,
Oh,
someone died off me. I used to be a big fan of what you call Atlanta when Michael Vick was there.
ooh, I love Mike Vick.
Yeah, I had a
I know.
I had a thing for the Bears because at the time the Bears wasn't that good. They had what's his
Ah, refrigerator.
name? No, that was back in shit. That was
Way
back in
back in the 80s.
yeah. No, I was talking about they had that wacky ass quarterback. What was his name? Jay
I don't
Cutler.
know. Mm.
Yeah, Cutler way back in the days. He's been on that team for the longest. And I hated the Bears for that because they kept him. It's like, let that man go. You garbage.
Oh
And
my
like I
God.
watched I watched the Bears just for Brian Urlacher just to see him sack people. So shit,
Yeah.
that's about it. But like I wasn't really a Bears fan back then. So
Yeah.
my team was Atlanta, and then who was my team? The Steelers.
Oh,
And then
they
like I
talking
would
bad
watch.
about
I mean, okay. And then I would watch Marshawn Lynch in some of the games.
you. Ooh, I like my son too.
Funny as hell.
Mhm. What do you think about what do you think about the male sports, the former players as with their podcasts? You know, all the different you got your football players, you got your basketball players.
Mm.
What do you think about
I
them?
I think some of them can pull it off, and some of them can't. So when
Mhm.
Brandon Marshall did I Am Athlete,
Mhm.
he had it for a second until he ruined it. Like he had Channing Crowley on there, he
Mhm.
had
Fred Taylor,
Fred Taylor, Ocho on
mhm.
there a little
Ocho,
bit, but yeah. But that's when,
Shady.
yep. Basically, when you was talking about, tonight, black people linking together, businesses linking together, and everybody now on the same page. That's what
Mhm.
we're gonna have to be about the actual podcast because that podcast is pretty good. I liked it.
Mhm.
Even when Brandon was bringing that weird dynamic of energy that he was bringing, whatever it was,
Mhm.
it
I
was
know,
still
right?
it was still
Whatever
a
you
good
do.
show. Right.
Mhm.
It was still a good show until they had their little falling out over business. I was
Mhm.
like, all right. But when they came up with the pivot, I was like, hey, Brandon lost out.
Mhm.
He definitely lost out. So I mean, some people could do it. Shay Shay is a good show.
Mhm.
I think it's a home run for him. Salute to him. Um, who's the other guy? No jumper.
Mhm.
I think it's
Cam.
yeah. Yep. I mean, they Cam Newton got a show. I think he does a good job at it. So I mean, certain
Mhm.
athletes who has that charisma, like if Iverson came out with a show, I think it would be
Oh,
good.
yes.
I think if he came out with a show, it'd be definitely good for him.
Yes. People who
But
don't
he
take
got
life so serious, politically
right,
correct. Just be natural.
right. But he's got to find that co-star, that person that can match his energy.
Yeah.
I'll be like, some people can do it, some people can't. So I mean, hats off to those who tried. You know, you know,
I like I like the fact that it's a different perspective.
100%.
You know, you know how regular TV is so um like they spit by the producers or whoever owned the station, you know,
Hmm.
or their views. Whereas the podcasters, especially the athletes, they came in just on some real stories, real, everyday barbershop type conversation.
Right.
And for far too long, we would always get a watered down perspective based on if somebody was, if it was a celebrity, maybe they signed with a certain publisher or a certain um network, so they couldn't talk about or say certain things. They couldn't basically keep it real. And
Right.
I think the athletes with those podcasts, they bring a different viewpoint, and it's raw and uncut, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's a real connection with the everyday world. They're not so politically correct in their conversations that you can't follow, you know.
Honestly, in
So
my opinion, I think it's a real connection with us. And you know what I mean by
yes,
us.
yes.
And that's the level that they bring to the show every time. So you see that in Shannon Sharp and some of the stuff that he says that we can relate to, like some of the sayings down
Hmm.
south, and it brings a different it brings a different perspective of, okay, well, when he was playing in the league, he actually was a human being. He wasn't this jock, or he wasn't this muscle bound head, individual.
Hmm.
He actually was a person who
Hmm.
actually loved his job. So I mean, that's the reason why I like that perspective of their shows,
Hmm.
of Shannon and Shay Shay or whatever. But I mean, some of these, like I said, some of these athletes can deliver. I mean, and honestly, we really started off, and a lot of people don't give him a lot of credit. What's his name? At Colorado,
Hmm.
I think Prime Prime started it off. I think he went to what, YouTube or Tubi or something like that.
Hmm. Yep.
So I mean, hats off to him because he started something new.
Yeah. And they hate him because they like, oh, everywhere he go is a reality show for him. Well, because he can monetize. Now he got his sons already got their own little podcast. Um, monitor. You see, he just brought in Ed Reed on the staff.
Oh, he did?
I think today,
I didn't see it.
whatnot. So you talking about people who know how to monetize it and then bringing them dollars. I mean, hey, ain't nothing you could. There's nothing you can do about it because you can't stop them.
Yeah,
But the whole everyday, I like what you said about, it's relatable, you know, to the us's. It's not like you can't relate to it. So sometimes when I go back and I listen to regular news stations, it'd be like blah, blah, blah,
it's dry. It's dry. And
talking points.
right, right. And like we saw a glimpse of this when was it what's his name, Shannon and Skip a little bit,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that was another turning point where
Yep.
when they had that banter back and forth,
Hmm.
oh, okay, what if Shannon just did a show by himself?
Hmm.
Oh, I think, and proof is in the pudding. Shannon brought most of the ratings over to Skip.
We
You know,
sure did. And I used to think he was crazy. I'd be like, why you gotta do all that damn yelling?
but I mean, you Southern cat. I mean, shit. I know a couple family members that yell like that too every time I go down there.
Yeah. He
So
used
just
to
like
drive me
Shannon.
crazy. Yep. And I
Yeah.
like the balance. I like Like I said, I like Cam with the 4-1. I like it when he do Funky Fridays. I like the fact that we get to hear the personality of the people that they're interviewing that you would have never thought. Some things come out that you would never thought, or maybe you never get to speak to those individuals. And I think it also humanizes the athlete, because they could be just looked at as like little machines running around, but they're actually real people.
Right. And that's where we get stuck on. You see these
Mhm,
guys play every Sunday or every Monday,
mhm,
and you think they're just
mhm,
regular,
mhm,
not regular athletes, and just these beings that
mhm.
we see on TV, but they're actually people.
Like, what'd you think of what was your opinion on LeBron getting his son in the league?
I think I got two opinions on that. As a father, that's dope. As a player, that's stupid. Because from a player aspect of it is, you know, you're just a father pushing your son or trying to push your name around with your son. But yet still, as a father, that's the dope aspect. He's gonna be the first ever in history to have his son play on the same team as him. So I get what he wants to do on the father aspect, but as a player, that shit is just stupid. Like if you push like your son's name around, knowing you're LeBron, that's not gonna look good for him in the future. Oh, your dad got you on the Lakers. He's gonna hear that right now. He's hearing that right now. He's hearing that right now
Hmm.
for sure. So like I think if he if he would have never, because we know that he had some pull to get his son on the Lakers, but if he never said anything publicly in the media and kept it behind closed doors, we would have thought about it differently. We would have had a different scenario.
Yeah,
It'd have been a surprise for us. But, oh shit! Oh, this son like what his dad I know, and his father had
right.
nothing to do with it. You know?
She, I think it's pretty cool. You know, Other folks
Mhm.
do it all the time. It gets swept under the rug from may not a lot of times may not be from an athletic perspective, but we know in business that happens all the time. Um, for him, it shows black men in a different light. Uh, I'm sure some of the other ones probably wish some of their sons followed in their footsteps or could be there, but I think it also I think it also put the spotlight on guys who are in the league in all the sports or in any celebrity or professional position because
Mhm.
of the fact that sometimes we do our thing and we just let our family members just do whatever. I mean, Will Smith had his sons in movies. Master P had his sons in movies, and I'm sure it was quite a few others. But
Yeah, Ice T,
we,
not Ice T, but
Ice,
Ice Cube.
that's right. Yep, his son played his part. That's right. But sometimes it's so far and few in between, that we forget that that people have seed that they want to bring up or to follow in the footsteps. So I thought it was pretty cool and whatnot. That he
Mhm.
now is he gonna survive? He gonna play any good? Now that's a whole nother ball game.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Like he has to live up to that expectation now because his dad brought
yeah.
him. So he has to be better than his dad, basically. At this point.
Or look, or he could just stack his paper and he just one up.
I mean, yeah, that too.
you
I mean, shit, that too.
know,
Your dad,
we call
your
that
dad brought
practice player.
basically
Hmm.
your dad brought you in the league to stack some paper,
Yep. Stand on your own merit. You never touch that court, but you're gonna still get paid.
big time. because who your
Yeah.
dad is.
Yup. So, all
Yeah.
right, let me get my little black stuff off this darn live. We gotta get back on some trades, bruh.
We already.
I know. I'm surprised we caught up with you, Brandon. You know you've been ghost.
No, I just been doing like, moving that stuff like
You back drop
that. Yeah,
shipping?
not even that. I was thinking about something else. That's why I was asking you. I meant to get with you probably like 2 weeks ago, but I actually we actually moved house. So
Oh yeah, move. You got another place?
yeah, we got a different place.
Uh
So we've been
oh.
doing that for like 2 weeks. Uh,
Ooh, don't you hate moving?
and I just the whole bed, you gotta set up your whole bed and all that other stuff. But no, I was supposed to be with you probably like 4 weeks ago about talking about some funding and some things I'm trying to get started,
Mm.
pumped off the ground. Going to this little seminar. What is this? 29th, just to get some more information about real estate. So
Oh, that's Chris Lane.
yeah, so
You trying to get your realtor license?
mm-mm. No, I don't want to get a realtor license. I want to get something investor. So I don't know if you guys remember. Um, I spoke about this probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Sonny brought it up probably like another year and a half ago about tax liens and tax deeds.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
remember.
that's something I'm really harping on because I can
Okay.
foresee, with the housing market going down and can't afford these houses, it's going to leave a void of all these vacant homes and foreclosed homes. And
Mm-hmm.
so I see that as an opportunity to get up on some tax liens, tax deeds, and see if I can pick up some properties. So I'm meeting
Okay.
with a real estate investor sometime next week to form an LLC in my
Yeah.
state. So I wanted to do an actual real estate attorney to get everything done. I mean, like I know I can sell the LLC or whatever, but I just want her to do it. So
Mm.
this is my plan. I'm trying to work on it. I'm in a research mode right now. So
Okay. Well, are we thinking about that? We'll see what we can bring up. I somebody bought a house on tax auction, and I was like, man, I need to learn that too. I'll see what they got out there too while you go to your class. When is your class?
that's a 1 day thing. It's 30th. We'll set
Okay.
Friday.
Well, I'll look for some stuff too, and we see what we can come up with.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Peace, power, and profit.
All right. Peace, everybody.